If you're a woman, are you being a great ally to yourself and to other women? And if you're a man, are you being a great ally to women? Because we're thinking about what would it actually take for us to level the playing field and to show up as trusted partners and advisors and teammates. If you've been wondering how you can take action to make things more equitable and fair and a better environment where everybody can reach their full performance, whether it's in your family, in your team, in your department, in your company, I'm going to leave you with a checklist of 11 things to check in on yourself and see if your actions are taking you towards that or away from that. For the best strategies to take your career to the next level, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell so you can be notified when I post new content weekly. I'm Christina dellisanti-Miller, a full potential realized, and I'm a career transition coach. That means I help mostly women take their careers from point A to point B. Someplace fulfilling, someplace meaningful, and someplace where they're doing their best work. It could mean getting a promotion, it could mean expanding your compensation, it could mean taking on a team, expanding your responsibility, landing your dream job, stuff like that. I was recently collaborating with someone in preparation for a speech I'm going to be giving at a Senior Women in Technology conference. And we were having the dialogue about how do we break the glass ceiling. We've been working on this for a long time. And the woman I was working with said, don't you have something that's like an ally checklist for men and for women? And I was like, yeah, for women to be allies to themselves and to other women and for men too. She was like, yeah, like the tactical, practical actions you can take. It has to be actionable. It can't just be esoteric. And I was like, yeah, I do have something like that actually. In 2012, I still at the time was managing the not-for-profit that I started, Athena Collaborative Group, which was about supporting women to go into STEM careers and thrive, and especially into really tough competitive investment banking careers. I was thinking about like what would actually we need to do to change the landscape and really change it. And I published the Co-Equalist Manifesto. And back then, manifesto was not a word that was related to anything violent. It was just a passionate commitment. So maybe now we'll call it the Co-Equalist Commitments. And there are 11 of them. I'm gonna put them in the description so you can see them. They are written in pretty woo-woo language, so I know I'm gonna need to translate them for this conference so they sound a little bit more business-like. But I'm gonna provide it to you now in its raw form, and I invite you to comment and let me know which ones you think we can do, we are already doing, which ones we could do better, and really opine on it and let me know what you would think it would take for us to take this up and to really put it into effect. This was written about gender, and you know, as a diversity lead, I'm always interested in leveling the playing field for all underrepresented groups. I think this has relevance. I'm not sure it's exactly spot on for all groups, but that's also something I'm interested in your comments. Which pieces do you think are applicable? First commitment, show up as a fully equal, empowered, responsible leader and being. I'll tell you a little bit about my reasoning behind each if they're not obvious, but I think the first thing is standing in, we are perfect, whole, and complete, and we need to show up that way and remind ourselves and present ourselves, no matter how we're feeling, no matter what messages we're getting, that way. Second one is be love and create peace. Use Gandhi approach to transformation. And I mean something very pragmatic by that. It sounds very woo-woo, but the idea is Gandhi, as a role model for a change agent in India, asked the English to leave, and through peaceful protest, they left. And the way that happened was not through war. It was through peaceful protest and standing up as a leader and saying, we need to shift something, we need to change something. Very powerful. It's the difference between using power and force. Powerful is when you get things done without having to use force. Third commitment is to hold yourself as a trusted partner to yourself, to other women at all levels and in all roles. And to compete and collaborate, but all with the intention that all boats rise, that we all move forward together. Fourth one is to complete the past. And what does that require? Admit what happened, be present to what's been happening and just be honest about it, and then forgive it and let it go. We have to be fueled by the desire to make things equal and better, but we will make much less progress if we're driven by resentment and anger, and we'll be poor collaborators. And I think we need to have all parties engaged in this, men and women, in order to shift the landscape. If we have the resentment and we're carrying that and trying to collaborate, it's in the middle and it doesn't work effectively. So in organizational life, men ran the organizations by themselves for a long time, set it up so that the norms were around their norms. What else would they do? We weren't there yet. And now, for the past few decades, we've been showing up and getting integrated, but we're operating inside a system that's based on their norms. We need to collaborate to shift the norms so that they're inclusive, so that all can participate and have their voice heard and be valued. So for me, the best way to get that done is to do it with a spirit of partnership, which requires forgiveness for whatever went down in the past that was maybe a little bit unsavory or very unsavory in some cases. Fifth one is focus on what you want, focus on what's possible, hold attention on progress, hold attention on the vision. I say that because it's easy to hold attention on what we don't want, but then I believe you create more of that. If we're envisioning the possibilities, we're envisioning this positive future and it's pulling us toward it, I think we have a better chance of getting there. Sixth one is relentlessly commit to growth, development, being fully self-expressed and being free, being competent and being confident. Seventh one is help each other. There's an adage about there's two different kinds of crabs. One crab is the kind that when they're in a bucket and some of them are getting out, the other crabs pull it back in. The other kind of crabs actually make a bridge so that some of the other crabs in the bucket can escape. So be the kind of crabs that make a bridge. Eighth, from my many years doing diversity work, have to address the system pragmatically. Have to address root causes, have to get to the bottom of how the system works, because everything is connected, and if you're trying to fix something over here, a lot of times you rejigger something over here, maybe for the better or maybe for the worst. So taking a view of the whole process and system and how things work and addressing it as a whole, I think is the only way to get anything done for the long term and on a grand scale. 9, leverage what already exists. I had the good fortune to meet Hillary Clinton once at an event, and I was just starting Athena Collaborative, and I asked her for advice, and she said, don't reinvent the wheel, find out what already exists, and go from there. Great point. 10, be brave. Have the courage to create something new. Have the commitment and passion to create the future. Act like you are able to produce it, and then go do it. Number 11, honor the divine feminine in girls, in women, and in men. So suppose we all have female energy and male energy, and the female energy has maybe been discounted in the last few generations. How do we honor both in everyone and give it the respect and embody it with the respect it deserves? If it's been marginalized, how do we pull it to the center and celebrate it? How do we treat it like it's valuable? Because it is, because it keeps everything in balance. Integrate it, have it bring what it brings, which is that balance, and share the value with the partners, with the collaborators, with its counterpart. So when you think about these, again, they have to get a lot more business-ized in the language, but I invite you to think about them and use them as a checklist to say, how am I showing up? Am I showing up as an ally that's going to make the future equal and equitable, or am I continuing to participate in old patterns that keep the status quo and that frankly don't work? They don't create the best possible outcome for all. Being a great ally to yourself, to other women, and to men is one way to show up as a fully engaged leader. Being a leader who helps craft the future as more equitable, more inclusive, and better working is one way to advance your career. Another way is to position yourself as high potential, high performing, and promotable. Grab my free cheat sheet at fullpotentialrealized.com/positioning. I'll put a link in the comments. Check out these next videos for additional strategies on taking your career to the next level. And please like this video, give it a comment, share it on social media, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. Thanks. I look forward to seeing you next time.